So we as Africans have a lot of resources, yet we sell this kind of resources outside. We export it, and then we import finished products. When are we going to be producing our own products so that you can be able to sell it outside? If everybody was to go to Alibaba, let's say with a population of 58 million citizens in your country, or more than 150 million people in your country, like Nigeria, everybody goes to Alibaba and then buys, all those consumables, then what is your country doing? There is not any production in your country that is going on. So you'll be just consumers, a nation of consumers, right? We need to have a situation whereby you go to buy stuff that you're going to create jobs for your people. Thank you so much for joining me once again in this channel where we inform you a lot about web design, graphic design, and today I'm just giving you another episode of Alibaba video, how you can shop on Alibaba, and some of the things that I did not mention in the previous video, which if you've already watched it, this video is going to be very important for you to watch, because some of the things that I did not mention in the previous videos are going to be addressed in this particular one. And if you've not watched the previous ones, I suggest you actually watch it first and then you can come back and watch this one. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 things. Number 1 is, what can you buy on Alibaba? How can I stand out with the product that I ship from Alibaba? And also, how can I make the payments? So these are the questions I got the most from the previous video that I'm going to be addressing in this video. Stay tuned till the end. The previous time when we talked about Alibaba, we mentioned that Alibaba is a platform where you can come and buy something called for B2B. You're buying products so that you can sell to other business people who will then sell to retailers. And the procedure here is very simple. You have to come with the product that you want. You already know what you want to buy, and you can buy just about anything for as long as it abides with the policies and rules in your country. You can buy just about anything. If it's importable in your country, then you can actually buy it from here on Alibaba. And the simplest way to do that is by creating first an account on Alibaba, which we've already talked in the previous video. But just by creating the account, you already have a platform for you to buy anything. Yeah, you've seen people going to China, direct flights. The benefit with that is that you get to interact on a one-on-one basis with these particular merchants, people who are manufacturers, suppliers, the dealers. You'll be able to do that. But because you do not have the luxury, maybe the budget for booking a flight to China, then you have Alibaba as the platform for you to actually source whatever products you want to supply to your clientele, right? The previous time I talked about buying clothes. When you want to buy clothes on Alibaba, you can, for example, see African clothes, whatever. Is it, how do they call those Nigerian clothes? African traditional wear, right? Traditional wear, I'm sorry, okay. So you can come here. I promise you, what you're seeing here is not exactly what you'll get. Because, again, these are not authentically African products. Some of them are not exactly, because these are pictures that they've gotten online from Nigerian tailors, Ghanaian tailors, those ones from Togo and Benin, So they make it like this. Because this kind of a product, if you were to buy it from a Nigerian local tailor, you'll get it at maybe, $130, maybe $80, this kind of a cloth, a traditional wear. But here you see they're saying a minimum order of 20, you can get it at $14. So which is, a bit suspicious. And when you come down here, you will be able to see that even the origin is a bit questionable. They're saying the origin is Pakistani. And then you look at, it's made for men. And this is, the company there, some dashiki. But I want you to check for the fabric. If you know anything about fabric, fabric is all that matters when you going to buy this kind of clothes. Otherwise, you'll be wearing some, very polyester-like material, which is not the kind of fabric that you want. You see, this one is polyester, linen, cotton, and also customized. When you look at that combination of that fabric, it's not the best fabric that you're actually looking for, right? Because this kind of clothes are either tailored with cashmere kind of fabric, which is not cotton. It is wool, not cotton. So when you come and buy these ones, this is exactly what I bought, and I got something totally different. And when I said in the previous video, when you come to buy something, you should be able to actually know what you're buying. It's very important. If you don't know what you're buying, you will just buy anything, and it will come to you, and then you'll start saying Chinese products are not of good quality. It's because you did not know what you're going to buy. What I recommend is that you can buy machinery, you can buy products like that, you can buy equipment for printing, equipment for medical testing, those kind of equipment for beauty. Those are the type of machinery that you'll food processing, you can be able to buy. Petroleum industry, you can be able to import from there. Those equipment are going to help you produce quality products in your own country, because again, we don't want to be having a situation whereby we are only importing already made products. You should be able to be visionary enough to think of how to scale up. And how to scale up is to produce locally. Because you do not have the basic materials or equipment or machinery to do that, you need to be able to actually buy stuff that those people are making there and then use it in your own country to produce in large scale. So that is what I would really think, that's what I think people should be looking into. So if you ask me a question, what should I be buying on Alibaba? You should be actually buying stuff that will be able to, enable you as a business person to produce locally in your own country. That's how you can be able to create more jobs in processing industry and those kind of things. So if you come here and you look for maybe food, if there are different categories. If you come here, you'll see categories, on here you'll see categories you see apparels, accessories, renewable energy, consumer electronics, home gardening, everything is there. But as we're saying, the vision as African citizens, you should be able to think beyond just importing already made products. You should be thinking about how to maximize production in our own countries, so that you can be able to produce locally and sell globally. So that's what we should be able to be having as a vision eventually. Home and decor, you can see home and decor or deco. Doesn't matter anyway. We have gifts, home gardening, construction and real estate, lighting, lights, all these lights, solar power, clean energy. You can buy solar panels from Alibaba. Sometimes, locally, we see that energy is so expensive. Electricity, the way it's being distributed by the companies in, example, Kenya and other African countries. I'm not talking about those other developed countries. I'm talking about the global south. These countries have a problem with electricity. So if you get a way of importing solar panels and be able to distribute them in rural area, you will be able to get some money in that. And you've seen some big tech companies have actually ventured into that. They've come up with ways to buy bulk solar lights, and then they'll be able to sell them to local people in the villages, and they make a lot of money. And they come and say, we are empowering young people. This is a charity, 50-50 kind of business venture. It's called social entrepreneurship. You're doing a business, but for a social impact in the community, whereby you're creating more jobs, but you're not earning any profits in that particular company of yours. And you've seen them. Because again, if everybody was to go to Alibaba, let's say with a population of 58 million citizens in your country, or more than 150 million people in your country, like Nigeria, everybody goes to Alibaba and then buys, shoes, buys clothes, buys plates, buys, all those consumables, then what is your country doing? There is no any production in your country that is going on. So you'll be just consumers, a nation of consumers, right? But we want to have a way whereby we need to have a situation whereby you go to buy stuff that you're going to create jobs for your people. Packaging industry, manufacturing industry, agriculture, these are industries that depend on machinery that we do not make in Africa. So if you can go to Alibaba and buy those kind of equipment, then you can come and create jobs in your own country. So if you ask me, tailoring, for example, buy the best embroidery machines from there. Come build your own African attire. You can say, my country is priding itself because of this kind of a cloth, because you are able to produce it. You don't need to be producing it in another country. You don't need to be importing from another country, right? Because we as Africans have a lot of resources, yet we sell this kind of resources outside. We export it, and then we import finished products. When are we going to be producing our own products so that you can be able to sell it outside, right? The moment you change the mindset and shift that kind of, mindset whereby you have to be importing and consuming things from other countries, you can actually develop your industry. So just getting more jobs, that's the whole thing. You can come and buy anything from here, and then you can customize it. Another thing is this: when you're coming to buy stuff from Alibaba, ensure that you are going to add value onto what you bought. So you come buy stuff and then you go customize it. That is going to be able to make you stand out in a unique way. So for example, you bought some mugs, you bought some t-shirts, you bought some flags. You go and customize them because they're coming as blanks. If you don't have the skills to do that, then you can as well talk to the people who are actually manufacturing this stuff to customize them for you, and then you can be able to get a finished product that is unique. But if you're going to be buying stuff that is, generic, anybody can just come here and buy. Nobody will be interested to buy from you because there's not any other value that you're getting from it, right? For example, I'll give you a very good example. If you have, for Muslims, you have the prayer mats. So prayer mats, usually you will see in mosques like this, couple prayer mats, they look so unique, right? Anybody can come and buy this kind of a prayer mat. Nobody, there's nothing unique about this prayer mat. But unless you're going to look for ways to customize it, whereby you can actually, get somebody to do embroidery on it or print on it. But to be honest, there is nothing unique about this particular mat. You can customize it. Anybody can come and buy this kind of a mat, and there is nothing that makes it stand out from the rest, right? But what you could do, you could get somebody who has an embroidery machine, and then you can customize it by putting some messages on it, maybe the name of the person you want to gift it, because the clientele you're looking at, you need to have a niche market. The clientele you're looking at are people who are willing to buy stuff and give it out as gifts. And then you can be able to sell this at a premium rate, not the basic one. Maybe it's $30 for couples. So you can be able to sell it at, double the price or even triple the price because of the value that people feel you're giving to them. Just by adding the name there changes everything, right? So customization is important. Don't just buy the way it is and then sell the way it is. Of course, for shoes, you can do the same. You can just buy and then sell the way it is. For example, if it's a Nike shoe, Adidas shoe, you cannot do anything on it, right? You'll just buy and sell the way it is. But you know that when you're buying that, you have to buy bulk so that you can be able to generate, some profit on it. If you don't do that, then you're going to just, I don't know what to say. One very important thing, I was asked, if now we've already come to Alibaba, you've done your orders, you talk to that particular person, they've sent you a link. Because what you do is you create your profile, you search for the product. After getting the product, you chat with the person who is actually having those products. You chat with them, talk to them, and then ensure that you have an understanding with them. After that, you now have to request for a payment link, a trade assurance link. Previously, when I did the previous video, I told you that trade assurance link is like an escrow account whereby you send your money there, and then the supplier has to distribute the products to the products to you, and then you can be able to pay them, right? So that's how it works. In this way, you as the buyer are protected. You're not prone to scammers. And also you need to check for the people who have verified accounts. So when you have that profile you've already done, you've talked to the supplier or manufacturer, you've ordered, they've given you a payment link. Now you have to add your payment card, whether it's a MasterCard, whether it's a Visa card, whichever way you want to send wire transfer, which takes some time. But when you do the MasterCard thing, the ATM cards, it's instant transfer from your account to their account. So it stays in that escrow account, and then they will be able to prepare. They will keep on updating you on the progress of the product. Some of the products takes up to 15 days to be ready to be shipped to you. And then after 30 days, if it's using depending on the country you are in. For East African countries, it's relatively 30 days to 45 days, you get that particular product that you ordered. For the other countries, I don't know. Just talk to the people who will be the agent. Because when you're, again, communicating with these people, you must give them an agent, because they already have agents who can ship products to you. They will recommend DHL, FedEx, and I told you those international shipping companies are meant for the European countries. As Africans, let's focus on what we can, on solving our problems, because we have the taxational issue, we have the custom, and those in our own country, and then you have corruption to deal with. You don't want to go and deal with those taxation officials in those postal office like KRA in Kenya, and then you have to bribe them so that you can be able to get your products that you already spent a lot of money to ship from China. So just get an agent, and I told you for Kenya you can get those agents. Just go to Eastleigh. There are a lot of them there in Nairobi, Eastleigh. In Mombasa you can get them. In other cities I believe they are also there. Just communicate to them, and then they will be able to ship the product from China to Kenya, and they'll even deliver it to your own home if you are far away from the city, right? So they'll be able to organize for transportation from the city to your locality. I believe I've answered a lot of questions. So the first question was, what can I buy from Alibaba? And the second question is, how unique can I stand out with the products from Alibaba? And the third one is, how can I make payments? So I've addressed those questions, and thank you so much for staying with me until this particular time. See you in the next video.